Hello and welcome to the next lecture. Today we're going to speak about AMQP, which is Advanced Messaging Queue Protocol. And this is an open standard that some of the messaging services and libraries follow. So that means that you can change them if you need to. So you're going to use Artemis Active MQ. And so let's jump into it. So you might, if you watched previous video, you might see a lot of correspondences, and that's because we use the same technology from the small I for the reactive messaging. So there is a lot of reuses, and actually the code will be absolutely the same. So if you want, I suggest you to look at the previous lecture and see how it's working, because I'll try to shorten it. So we created a project with the AMQP, the only extension that we have. This actually adds a lot of extensions, so you will see. And let's also start our Artemis. So I have here a Docker command. And so you can see that we have 3 ports, and then we have overwritten the user for the root. And let's start it, and I'll simultaneously open the IntelliJ IDEA. Okay, so we created, we started the Docker for the Artemis. You can see that it started. And let's go to our IntelliJ IDEA project, and you can see in the POM.xml the real dependencies that we have, which is Quarkus REST Easy, GNP, and then Quarkus small I reactive messaging AMQP. So there is like this is not exactly the Quarkus /AMQP. This is exactly what I was talking about a few 10 videos ago. So yeah. So I'll just copy all this stuff from the Kafka. So let's have the 3 of them: the price resource, price generator, and price consumer, I think. So I'll create a package tech.now, and I'll copy over this 3 files. So first one is price, price producer, price resource, and price converter. Let's start with the price producer, and that's the first one. So we have here, let me make it a little bit larger for you. So we have here our random. This is not required to be there, but just to produce random values. And here we'll produce an integer, this time integer. So the flowable interval, what it does is we produce a flowable that will produce every 5 seconds new action, right? And then we map it to our price. So here we'll have we'll just return this random next int like this. So, and yeah, we can optimize it. So what it does, again, every 5 seconds this will produce an action, and for this action we return the random int to the AMQP in our case, right? So we have a price, it's called outgoing price. You need to have this annotation, which is micro profile reactive messaging outgoing. So this will specify that we want to feed it somewhere. It's not exactly required to put it into the Kafka or AMQP, but the outgoing connections will be specified in resources. Okay, so we have this price producer, right? And let's go to the applications properties, and I'll have here as well for the prices. And yeah, also let's start firstly with the config. So to connect it to the AMQP, we'll need to have this root and username, the password and username, which we specified as a root. As you can see, we have here the Artemis username and password. And let's add the outgoing connection. So we have a small I AMQP. Then the prices. The prices is exactly, so you can see here we have a price, right? So this is the name of the producer here. And the address in our case is a topic that the AMQP will, so we feed the it to AMQP with this tag, which called prices. So this durable true means that the queue will be, messaging queue will be durable, which means that it will persist all the data that you save, and thus if you restart the whatever the Artemis or computer, this will survive the restart. So this is the only usage for it. Yeah, let's go to the price converter. So we have now the settings for the price, so for the outgoing connection producer. So now here in price converter we have the incoming called prices, so we receive the prices, and the outgoing, so we have a converted prices. So here let's say we're gonna use a double, and then we receive an integer. You could put it like this, integer price, something like this. So here we converted, so we just double it, right, in our case. So we receive a price which is integer because we produce it as an integer here, we produce it by the converter prices tag, but this won't be produced to AMQP. We'll use it locally in the price resource in our case, and the broadcast is of course so that all the listeners can listen to it. So yeah, so this is like this. We can actually put it like double as well, so yeah, that's there. Let's set up our receiver. So we need to specify the settings so that we can receive something. In our case it will be like this. So we have a connector small AMQP for the incoming prices. The prices is exactly this tag that we supplied. So we supply it to AMQP and then read back. So again, as in previous lecture, this can be just two different applications. So you can use the outgoing in one app. You can create one Quarkus app or whatever. It's not required to be Quarkus, but maybe you have some other. And then this is consuming. So this can be in a different app that will be running on your computer or not on computer, whatever, maybe in the cloud. So just for the visual, so you have everything in one screen. I use it as a single in a single app, right? So yeah, so we have again durable, and the prices. So the name of the incoming is prices, and we consume it again in a converter, so incoming prices, and the ongoing converter prices. You can see that we didn't have a config here. That means that it only will be used in the local environment, which is like, for example, in resource, right? So here we'll have a publisher double with the channel called converted prices, which is exactly what we produce. And so we have a publisher double, right? So here let me make it like this. So here we have a path called prices/stream, right? And then we produce the server sent events, which is kind of similar to sockets. You just feed the data again and again. And the server sent element type will be, in our case, a text plain. So we will just return a double, right? So like this. You can see that we just return a publisher. So we return the channel itself to the output, and it will be consumed correctly. So if we put the text plain. So again, you can also create a POJO. Please have a look at the previous video about the Kafka, where we create a price object and convert it to JSON and from JSON, so you know how to use it with the JSON. So we will use only double this time. So now everything is ready except one small change, that is we'll convert the index.html with this super small script, which is just again, we have a HTML here and the value is, and then we have a span object with ID content, and then we have a small script that will create this event source from the prices stream. And then when we receive a message, we have a listener here, which will replace this content inner HTML, which is this part. So I can put an unknown here, for example, with the data that we receive. So, and receive, we of course, let me make it a little bit larger for you again. Receive, we of course the double. So we have a publisher of double. So yeah, let's jump into it. Let's start our Quarkus here. So we have a AMQP Artemis running. Don't forget to use the Docker, so it will be active, so it will work for you. So let's call the main Quarkus dev here, and yeah, that's it. So let's wait before it starts. Okay, so you can see that it started. You can see that we found the incoming connectors and outgoing connectors, and you can also see that we connected the price converter convert to prices, and the price producer produce price to sync price. So everything is configured correctly. And let's go to the browser and let's restart our 8080, and you can see that it's already working. You can see that every 5 seconds we receive some difference of 6,000, like 8,000. So you can also tweak it a bit, just a bit. So for example, you can create a producer that will send you every 1 second something new, and you can restart and you will see that the price will go a lot faster this time. So yeah, yeah, now you know how to use AMQP with Quarkus. This is really easy. Again, I suggest you to see the Kafka video. This is the previous lecture. This is helpful not only because of Kafka, but more of how to create. This will be covered in more details that we've done today. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.